So I'm originally from Southern Virginia. I lived there until I was 11. My mom still has some friends in the area though. And one of them's on the school board in the county where I'm from. And she said that last summer, some guy called an emergency meeting because he wanted to scrap the foreign language program altogether. And they all had to come in for this meeting. They're pissed off they had to be there. This guy stands up with what he thinks is the plan that's going to shut down foreign languages. And this was it. He goes, I don't think we need foreign languages because if English was good enough for Jesus Christ, it's good enough for us. And then he just sits down with this attitude like, what? Like, if he had a microphone in his hand, I'm convinced he would have held it out and dropped it. Like, he thought he was the Chris Rock of the school board or something. He was rapping on the school board special. And then my mom's friend was like, sir, not only is that irrelevant, it doesn't even make sense. And then he pauses for a second and goes, now, ma'am, I don't know about you, but I've read the Bible. And I tell you one thing, it ain't in Spanish. And I don't even really have a joke for that. I just want to point out that the world is probably going to end soon. I'm guessing we have about 4 years left, and then Jesus is going to return in all his English-speaking glory. Let's get ready for the rapture, folks. And pretty much everything in the school system was backwards there. I got my first sex ed class in 6th grade right before I moved to Northern Virginia. And when I moved to Northern Virginia, I found out that sex ed's like 6 to 9 weeks. But in Southern Virginia, it's 35 minutes. You're like, oh, that's all you need to know. And all it is a video where a woman makes a pancake. And the pancake is in the shape of the female reproductive system. And then she just points to the pancake and goes, and this is the vagina, the cervix, ovaries. And we're 11, like, what is the message? Because all we're getting is vaginas are awesome. And then we're going to love them if they're anything like pancakes. And I just think that really outweighs the intended message of don't have premarital flapjacks. I was in the Cub Scouts when I was little too, until I was like 9 years old. Then I quit because I realized that everything I ever learned in the Cub Scouts was a survival tool in case I was to ever get lost in the woods. And I realized that the only time in my entire life I had been in the woods was with the Cub Scouts. I was like, if I just cut these guys out of the equation, I am safe. I'm not gonna run into any Wolverines at the Boys and Girls Club. I was riding a car with one of my good friends and his coworker, and we didn't know his coworker at the time, so the conversation was really superficial. Then out of the blue, this guy just goes, man, hopefully by the time I get home, all my overweight seniors porn will be finished downloading. What? And there's about 3 to 5 seconds of awkward silence. And I thought we were all quiet for the same reason. And then my roommate goes, what, do you have dial-up or something? I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not the weird part of what he said. And I'm also pretty sure you just told on yourself. So that's good information. Also, one of my, like, probably biggest pet peeve is like non sequiturs in conversation. Like, I just hate talking to someone. They just throw out a fact just to let me know that they know something. And I think potheads are the worst with that, because potheads will announce every fact that passes through their head just to let you know their brain is still working. Like, I watched Hotel Rwanda with one of my pothead comic friends, and when the movie was over, there was this quiet moment. And I turned to him and I was like, man, I cannot believe the world that happened. And he turns to me and he goes, yeah, man, and I cannot believe that hippos kill more people than tigers. This shit's crazy. I was like, I'm pretty sure there has to be a segue between those two statements, man. Even if it's just, hey, you want to hear something about hippos and tigers? That would have worked. Like, the worst pothead non sequitur I've ever heard, though, I've heard this from like 20 different people. Like, hey, man, did you know if you watch The Wizard of Oz on mute, syncs up perfectly with Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon? And I'm always thinking, no, it doesn't, because I know it doesn't. I've tried it, and it syncs up 2 times. And I think you can do that with anything in the world. Like, you can watch Roadhouse and listen to an Ace of Base album. Like, it's going to sync up at least twice. Alright, for anyone who's not seen Roadhouse, history lesson. Roadhouse is only the best film ever made. Don't call it a movie. Don't call it a movie. It's a film, alright? If you've you've never seen it, it comes on TNT every Thursday at 9. So there's that opportunity. But you don't want to watch the TNT version. You want to rent it. You want to get the real version because it really is the best movie ever made. The plot. Here's the plot. It's Patrick Swayze, and he is playing. No, that's weird. Okay, so Patrick Swayze is playing a nationally famous bouncer, which is the most ridiculous premise in film history. Like, how do you become a famous bouncer? So this dude can find date of birth on Kentucky like that. It's incredible. You gotta see it. People came in from cross country to see this shit. So the reason the movie is so great is because it has the two best lines ever said. One is he got in this fight. I don't remember if he got shot or he got cut or something. And this woman, or he got stabbed. That's right. So this woman, who I don't even know if she was actually a nurse, but she's giving him stitches, and she pokes him, and he goes, "Ouch!" And she goes, "I'm sorry, that hurt." And he goes, "Pain don't hurt," which is ridiculous because it does. Like, there are no two closer synonyms in the entire English language than pain and hurt. That's like, heat ain't hot. What are you talking about? So, pain does hurt. But somehow the line worked on her, and then they had sex after that, which I didn't know pain don't hurt was a good line, but I'm trying it, I guess. But, so then the best line, this is the best line. He's about to get in a fight with this guy, and they're down on this riverbank, okay? And they're sizing each other up, and first, before they get into the fight, they make sure their shirts are off. And the reason, this is what I do when I'm about to get in a fight with someone, which happens all the time. We go to a riverbank by the moonlight, okay? We make sure there's a bungalow on the hill. And we're about to fight, and then we just go, "Oh, shouldn't we take our shirts off?" Okay, yeah. So then we take our shirts off, and then there's a scramble to see who has Vaseline or Crisco, because you have to look shiny when you fight, okay? And so they get all glistened up, and then they're sizing each other up, and then it's time to exchange trash talk. And the guy looks at Swayze and goes, "I used to fuck guys like you in prison." And then they fight. And it's like, how do you hit someone after they pay you such an adorable compliment? Like, you tell me I'm prison hot, there isn't a chance in hell I'm hitting you, alright? Worst case scenario, we're going back to the bungalow to play Madden or something. It's not Swayze. Swayze kicks him twice and rips out his throat. Watch the movie. Done. Alright. Sold. You're welcome, TriStar Pictures. Alright. So alright, back to the original joke. So whenever people bring up this boy thing with me, I always like to make them think I'm interested, so I always just reply, "Oh man, that's awesome. Also, did you know that if you watch Footloose on mute, it actually syncs up perfectly with the soundtrack to Footloose?" That's awesome. Also, this is a fun one. This is something me and my grandma used to do. If you watch Dirty Dancing on mute while listening to the soundtrack from Grease, it actually syncs up perfectly with you being gay. That's a fun one.